plan is I'm going to remove the 1456 from the concrete floor that it is on and park it outside because I think I'm done with it. And we're going to get a 986 in the shop, and supposedly it just needs service work. So who knows what that means. See, we have an assortment of things in here. We got an air filter, fuel filter, coolant filter, oil, fuel filter, 2 oil filters, hydraulic filter, and a cab filter. So we will install all of that stuff. We'll probably grease it. I don't see any leaks on it. We'll make sure the coolant is, well, I guess it doesn't matter what color the coolant is because we're going to put a new coolant filter on there. Yeah, pretty nice looking 986. I will have to say, if not the nicest 986. The first thing that I'm going to do is get the oil draining. And then the plan is the last thing that I will do is add oil. So I can give this plenty of time to drain out all the oil. So we can get as much old oil out as possible with our friend Mr. Time working with us together. So that's good. We're going to take some oil filters off here and catch 90% of our drips. It's not a time to be an overachiever. There's just no sense in it. It takes too much time. It might get confusing here because we're going to put new oil filters in right away, but not new oil. So it's just how I'm going to operate. Just a little bit. Not too much. Then if you cross thread them, just keep going because they'll get tight. They'll get real tight. I'm joking, don't do that. bad advice. I don't want to be liable for giving out bad advice. That would not be good. Okay. Those oil filters are on. Ah, yes, let's do a coolant filter. We will turn our pet cocks, not the roosters outside, turning these valves in, these check valves that are called pet cocks. I don't know why more people don't ask why they're named that, but I will. But anyway, I'm tightening them up. Before I loosen that too much, I will not be a fool, and I will grab a drain pan. And here we go. What color are you? We have kind of like I would call it vanilla cream color. Kind of looks like cream soda. Definitely would not advise drinking it. You could get a little gut rot. I don't think any Tums out there would help you either. All right, and now we're going to turn our valves back on. Our valves are opening back up for a nice free-flowing filtration system. That's good. Just like that. All right. We are just winning here. Well, I think it's time to go to the other side of the tractor, and we're going to put some fuel filters on. All right. Got my microphone back. New microphone, trying new things, you know. I think I was talking about 5 different things there, but as you can see what I'm doing. I am filling up the fuel filters with fuel before I put them on, because that's just kind of what you got to do. So I'm filling them up. I haven't turned the fuel off or nothing. I'm just letting them fill. As soon as they get full, I'm just going to simply screw them back on. And I am making a mess, but I'm fine with it, because I can clean that up pretty quick. I used to shut the fuel off and then walk all the way out to the fuel barrels and fill up the fuel filters with fuel. And then by the time I got in the shop, the fuel filters weren't full of fuel because I dumped them out, tripping on the chickens. So this is just how I do it now. Now I got, oh my God. We got our fuel filters in. They're tight. And also, when you weren't looking, I put grease on the O-rings. Now we're going to turn this wing nut one-handed. We're going to attempt to. What a waste of time, in my opinion. God. How about some rust liquid? Not too sure how long you guys are going to be able to hang out with me here. My phone is dying. Okay, fuck this. Give her a few pumps. Pumping. I'm gonna take my my bleeder off there and make it squirt out some fuel. All right, we're getting our fuel filters on. I cracked the bleeder. We got that bleeder open. She is just gushing out fuel. That's great. Keep on pumping. Tighten her up. Don't over tighten it. Give her a couple pumps. And we have new fuel filters on this beast. And everything is bled. Good to go. We're going to fire it up and it's just going to run. Okay, now we're going to clean up a little bit here. And next we're going to put an air filter in this, I guess. Wouldn't it be sweet if you could just snap your finger at stuff and it would just be done? I would accomplish so much more. Let's try it again. Worked. Huh. We'll give up on the finger snapping. We all know it's just a fairy tale. Oh, is there a thingy in there? Negative. Use this one. There is a new O-ring. We're going to put that on. Apparently the other one did not have one. Ta-da! Gonna give this tractor the gift of fresh breathing air. Who wouldn't want that? Give it the breath or the gift of fresh breathing air while it pollutes the sky and kills all the people eating bugs. Oh boy. There it is. Pretty simple. Anything else we need to look at under here? I'm really not thinking so. Just a nice tractor. Yeah, if I knew where I put my bolts. Okay. And we're gonna put all the bolts in before we begin to tighten them. Because, you know, if you put one in and then you tighten it, the next one won't fit correctly. So Yep, I did end up getting a new rubber washer for my shoulder bolt. Okay, we got all the bolts in. Let's zip them. Oh, goodness gracious. Not as young as I once was. You know, it's all downhill from here. Be dead before I know it. Let's change out a hydraulic filter. Right there. Step 2. Don't be afraid. Brake cleaner is pretty cheap. And the reason is because you can pop this right out and it'll kadunk oil all over you. Which, I don't know. I usually like to be somewhat cautious. See, it could have been catastrophic, but it wasn't. Okay. Should have emptied my oil pan of all the filters, but you know, I don't always do the correct thing. Oh wow, it's a great looking filter. Speaking of filters, the guy who owns this tractor, the gentleman who owns this tractor, brought his own filters, and I will put filters, all the filters I'm replacing, in the description below. And yeah, check them out. And then check out other filters. Purchase whatever filters you feel like would benefit you best. Yeah, do not discriminate. Filters around here. The number one thing I look for in a filter is, well, the correct one for the application that I'm using it for. And then number 2, I look for a filter sitting on the shelf. And if I can get those two things to align, that equals out to be the perfect filter. And it works out. I actually put the perfect filter in every time. Around here. You can do the same too if you'd like. Maybe not this year because you don't have one sitting on the shelf, but next year you could have the perfect filter if you bought twice as many filters this year. It all just makes for a better world. Okay, we got our filter tight. We're good. I'm going to take out the final drive plug on both sides, and I'm not going to drain all the oil out. I'm just going to see what the oil looks like, and if it looks good, I'm going to put the plugs back in and go on with my day. Looks pretty good to me. I have taken my plug and turned it counterclockwise into the oil pan. Next, I'm going to take my brand new 15W40 oil and put it into a funnel that will go into the oil fill tube on this 436 engine. Going to be using viscosity 1540. Supposedly, it's just the best oil, period. Look at that pour. Wow. Incredible. All right, one thing I do like to do is that when I do put oil in here, I like to get it right on the money, on the mark, on the dipstick. Right on the nuts. Because with these wet sleeve engines, it's very good to know exactly what your level is at. The reason being is, let's say you come here one day and you check your oil and for some reason your oil level is over full. Well, that would mean that you have some antifreeze leaking into the pan or some fuel. So it's very good to put it right on the mark and to be in the know. All right, I think for shoots and kicks, I'm going to put a gauge on the bottom of the MCV pump just to see what it's at. I'm going to put a gauge on the PTO just to see where it's at. I'm going to check the hydraulic pressure just to see where it's at. And then, other than that, I'm going to clean up the poo stain up there. And then I'm just going to go driving around. I'll look at the front end. Other than that, I'm pretty sure this job will be checked off as satisfactory. Somebody took my damn PTO gauge. Yeah. Hey, you mind if I borrow? There we go. Okay, I'll stop complaining. We got a 400 PSI gauge. That'll do. Should have cleaned that out. Got a gauge there, checking our TA pressure. Gauge there, checking our lubrication. Let me just pop up in here. Okay. There we go. I've already fired it up one time, so got my oil levels correct. Yeah. We're at 260, 265, I'll call that. I'm going to call it 270. If they want me to. What we got going on here? Okay. Obviously, zero pressure. There we 60. Let's get her up to speed though. Get her up to... Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, that's it. Oh yeah. Whatever the hell. Oh, 2200. That's a good 22. Alright, so what did we learn? Well, the TA pressure is slightly low. Absolutely nothing to be concerned. Nothing that I will be concerned about. Or that I believe anybody else should be concerned about. Good to go. What the hell are you doing?